and eventually dropped out of school and started selling drugs. We're gonna start calling them the destruction homes because, like, I just want to reiterate
destruction, baby.
That's what's so we still winning, and I just wanted everybody to be happy. And when people started reaching out to me.
Welcome to another episode of the Shakeback podcast. I'm LB, the voice of reason, with my co-host Joey, big body Joey, baby. What's up, my brother? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. How you doing, LB?
Oh, I'm good, man. Blessed day, man. We went to church today, had a good, strong message. I'm just asking the Spirit to keep guiding me in all of my steps, man.
Most definitely.
Today I'm gonna be giving an interview of you and your backstory, man, and how you got in this seat, and where you at in life, where you at in your recovery, and just where you at, period, man, what you thinking, your actions, and the words you speak to people, man. I know you got a powerful message. You're definitely part of my story. You're always doing peer support. You work at different treatment centers. Everybody you have encountered, you definitely a blessing to them, bro. And especially coming from the streets of Lafayette, Louisiana, the north side of Lafayette, Louisiana. Shout out Country Acres and Truman. You came a long way. I'm proud of you, bro. And today, your information is reliable. You're trusted, and you're a beacon of hope, bro. You're a big part of my story, bro. And I want to let all the viewers know that, man, this man, I came through treatment, and he told me, fix my face that he had, man. He ain't left my side since, man. We've been walking it out together. So, without further ado, the introduction to Big Body Joy story, baby. So give me just share a little bit of your background, man, like your life before addiction became a significant factor.
Right. So as you know, like, I grew up on the north side of Lafayette, mostly in a single parent household. My father was on drugs. He was in and out of prison, so I never had a father figure in the household. So I kind of adapted to my surroundings and hanging out with people in the neighborhood, and eventually dropped out of school and started selling drugs. And after that, man, like, things, at least I thought back then, things were going good in my life. I had a little money, kind of popular around people. So I figured, like, this is the life that I'm supposed to be living. And eventually, like, drugs took a hold of me. I started abusing and using drugs. I was placed in a program while I was incarcerated in drug court so I can try to get myself back on the right track, and that didn't work out because I was using drugs in that program. I eventually ended up going to prison. And I stayed in prison 5.5 years, bouncing around from facility to facility. And I got out, and I started working again. And then I started using drugs again. And in 2019, 2020 is when I finally seeked help, and I come through these doors at Palmetto. And I really didn't want the help. I was just looking for the help because I wanted to clean up the image that I painted for myself, all those bridges I didn't burn, And I left from there after 30 days, and I went back out there, and I started using drugs instantly again. And I came back to treatment because there was something there. It was something about the place that I felt that it could help me. I could use it as a tool. And I went there and I tried giving recovery a shot my second time, stayed there 45 days. And after discharging from there, I went right back out there, and I stayed clean maybe a week, if that, and I started using again. At this time, I spiraled far, where I started stealing, and I started...
You started doing what?
I started stealing, man. Yeah, I started borrowing money from people, not holding my word, and it's crazy, bro, because people trusted me back then, People trusted me back then, like...
going offshore, getting that big money.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Like, Joey good for it, Mojo good for it.
More G's, yeah.
Jeezy gonna come through, Jeezy good for it. And eventually, man, once
Jeezy, baby.
Once your word is not bond no more, man, it gets hard.
Yeah, bro.
And in the penitentiary, man, they had this rule, and it always stuck with me. and I committed the act over and over out there in the real world. But there's a rule that lying is a form of theft. You can go to jail for lying, just like stealing.
Yeah, that's a charge. That's a charge. Yeah, that's a charge.
Lying is a charge. It's a form of theft, you know. And I took the things that I learned in the penitentiary, and all it did was amplified who I used to be on the streets.
A better criminal.
Yeah. We said it the other day, like I'm good at doing good things, but I'm awesome at doing bad stuff. Like I can do some bad stuff really, really good, you know? And it's crazy how that works, bro. But just being able to come through treatment my third time in the 9-month span, I went to treatment. And this last time I came through these doors, you know, these people asked me, like, what you gonna do different this time? And I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. And my counselor told me that's the best answer I could have given at that time. You know, like I really don't know. I was lost. I was defeated. You know, but this program gave me hope. You know, and I stayed in treatment for a good little minute. 116 days I stayed in treatment, man. And they suggested I go to sober living and find me a humbling job, and I did that. And ever since then, man, like I've been having bad moments in my day, but I try not to let it turn into a whole bad day. You know, and it's been a blessing just to rely on people like you, people like Tyler, people like Kev that's in the house, you know, because lately I've been dealing with some real emotional attachments, you know, that kind of hindered me in the last week or two to where I haven't even been feeling like myself.
But before we get into that, what kind of substances or behaviors that was involved and how did it escalate?
Pills. My thing was always pills. Opiates. Specifically Lortabs.
Them tabs.
Yeah, Lortabs, Percocets, you know, back then. You know, pills was always my thing. I really never tried smoking weed. I did when I was younger, but that wasn't my thing. My thing was pills because it was a clean drug, and I always looked at it like people who drink alcohol, you can smell it on them. You know, you can tell that they've been drinking. People who smoke weed, it look like it. People who do hard substances like crack or heroin, crystal meth, it's noticeable. But me with this clean drug, I'm thinking it's in my pocket, it's in my bottle. Nobody really can't tell that I'm on anything.
And you could blame it on the back.
Yeah,
my back hurt. I got a toothache.
My leg. Anything. Any type of chronic pain. I can put that pill on it, you know.
The doctor gave me that.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I was doing that, man, while working, coming home from work, and it got to a point to where, like, I couldn't attend school functions for kids. I couldn't go to family events. I couldn't move or get out the bed because it had me to where I was totally dependent on it to even be self-sufficient to do anything. And then it got me to a stage where I isolated, and then I was always in this funk of, I know I can do better. I need to do better, but I need these pills in order for me to do better. You know?
Reach that peak, maximum performance.
And it was a struggle, man. It was a struggle, and I lost a lot of people on the way up here. You know, as far as in my recovery, you know, a lot of people distance themselves from me.
Yeah, you just said it was early attempts of recovery. Yeah. And you know, like what would they like? I know we discussed the first time it was for employment.
Yeah.
You know, and then second time you thought it was employment. Being slick.
Being slick as that addict way of thinking. I can think my way out of any situation is that addict way of thinking. Here I go, thinking I can manipulate the system the way I want. So I got fired for using pills, for using drugs. And I decided to come back to Palmetto on my own.
Thinking they're going to hire you back.
Thinking they're going to hire me back because they did it the first time. So I'm thinking, let me go show these people that I'm working a program and actually stay a little longer and come back with a certificate. That certificate is not valid.
It's not what?
It's not valid.
Okay.
That certificate is not valid, you know, so it kind of messed with me a little bit, you know, and so I got back out and I started doing some real messed up things, you know, that was bringing shame not only to me but to my family, to my friends, to people who I hang with, who I associate with. You know, and it brought me at a dark, dark place.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to that dark place with you because once you figure you're ashamed, the family is ashamed of you, it really make you stop caring with them substance in my body. And like shit, they don't like me no way. They don't want me to come around no way.
Yeah.
You know, so I may as well cause all the damn. Y'all ain't gotta talk to me. Y'all gonna read about me in the newspaper,
right?
You know, under local arrest.
And people was hearing about me, man, and the things that I was doing. You know, and when you become a person that somebody not only can trust, but like your information, like today my information is good, but man, a few years ago, man, like it wasn't like people, the things that I would tell people and the things that I would say to get what I want right then and there made no sense. It was always life or death with me when I'm dealing with somebody and trying to get something from them. It's life or death.
Yeah, drastic.
Yeah,
I'm in a drastic situation.
And I said it
I need you.
I said it on the last podcast. Like, I just need a win
right now.
I'm not worried about tomorrow. I'm not worried about next week. I just need to get whatever you got right now to serve me.
When they catch me, they catch me. I'ma deal with it.
Yeah, man. That's bad.
Then when you catch me, I'ma talk my way out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's still that same situation.
Yeah.
I'm about to cry and everything.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, it ain't my fault. I got a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And a lot of people, man, they were happy that I got myself together. Those bridges that I burnt down, they weren't just bridges that I burnt, but now they're under construction. They're bridges that I'm rebuilding. You know, I got me a good team around me now. I got me some good workers that work with me. You know, to repair those bridges now. So,
Top Flight Construction.
Top Flight.
Who owned the company?
God.
Okay.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, God owned that company.
Restoration.
Yeah, most definitely.
So what ultimately led you to seek help and really buy into the program, like to commit to recovery?
Man, I was so ashamed and embarrassed and guilty and soaking in self-pity to where I was only moving around at night like an hour. It got to a point to where I wouldn't come out in the daytime at all. I done got small. I got money to cut my hair, but I'm so ashamed to even go to the barber shop for a barber to view me to where like I'm not even going to cut my hair now. I'm not buying me no new clothes, which that doesn't mean anything, but I'm no longer keeping up my appearance. You know, my appearance starts to fade away. You know, and you know what? There's one thing, and it's just like this in recovery, out there in the real world. When you start losing weight, people start thinking things.
Bro.
You can't listen.
Go ahead. Let me see what they was hearing about you. I'm gonna tell you what they was saying about me.
You can't lose no weight out there. I don't care if you was at the gym, where if you ain't got no muscles to go with that weight loss you got going on, you in trouble, man. The world gonna eat you alive.
You on something or you sick?
Or you sick? You doing something you're not supposed to.
But they had my name so bad out there, boy. I lost my weight, boy. I ain't even gonna start to tell you what they was saying about.
Maybe I'm just working on my cardio.
Why I can't be working out?
Why I can't be slim?
Why I can't be working out?
Yeah, man, that appearance, man, when that appearance starts to go, and it's the same thing in recovery. You dealing with people in recovery, and they've been in recovery, and then you start to notice them and look at them. Why he losing weight? Well, maybe he just exercising or he working on himself, you know. But there's that false personification that we feel that we have to give off in order to be somebody in this world when I can just be me. But again, I started losing weight out there, and people start to notice. You know, I'm wearing sweatpants underneath my jeans.
And you know, like today, we know we spotted because we got it. But you know, I was listening to a quote Sylvester Stallone said, and he said, you know, people gonna talk. That's just society anyway. You know, if you're too skinny, you're sick or you're on something. If you're fat, you're eating too much or you're lazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're obese. You know what I'm saying? But we know about the weight loss and even the thing in sober living. You know, and we done seen it a few times where it's individuals who come through here, and sober living is all a part of, is not designed to save all kind of money. It's designed and structured to help me to learn how to live right, pay my bills, take care of my skin, watching what I'm eating, being available to healthy situations and healthy people, going to church, being a productive citizen in society.
Yeah,
you know, and I've seen it. So we've seen it so many times the way people come here and chase that money, and don't put God in that recovery first, and next thing you know, they back in treatment.
Anything you put before God or your recovery, you're gonna lose it. So if I'm out there and I get into sober living and I'm putting, I want to go on these dates with these people, I want to go fishing, I want to go do this, I want to go to the movies, I want to go. You're putting everything before your recovery, you're gonna lose it.
It's just a matter of time before that bug jump up and bite you.
Yeah,
because it's cunning, baffling, and powerful. And Friday I was granted the opportunity to tell my story, and see how the disease worked for me. Is not, I don't have that mental obsession from me been removed, but if I'm not careful with my actions and my causes and conditions and my motives toward things, it could creep in on me like that if I'm not mindful. And what's some of the most significant challenges you faced in early recovery? I know we talked about when you first got to sober living. You had to walk to work, rain, sleet, or snow. It was minimum wage. You came in the whole. We talked about the bag of potatoes. You survived on for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, man.
From French fries to potato rounds to mashed potatoes, any kind of way you could eat a potato. My brother did it.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Yeah, most definitely. Like, one of the things that I think that holds a lot of people back when they first get into these sober living houses. We're going to start saying structured homes is what we're going to start saying.
Structured.
Yeah.
You ever tried putting it on the Scrabble board? That's about 9 letters. Yeah, you're up.
Yeah, we're gonna start calling these structured homes, because I just want to reiterate
structured, baby.
That's what sober living is about. That's what structured living is about. It's not to get here and to go on all these dates and to save money and to look good and do all that. No, it's about accountability, responsibility, integrity.
So you telling me it's not about looking right, getting my skin together with all kind of cocoa butter and baby, I'm looking good, baby.
No,
ain't working no kind of program, but I'm looking good. I'm at your job. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking for something to boost.
Yeah, most definitely.
I ain't working on no kind of program.
Nothing.
What you gonna do?
I think that one of the things that, to answer your question, one of the things that a lot of us suffer with when we come through in these structured living homes is our financial situation. We put so much pressure on ourselves to be like, I gotta do this, or I gotta get that, or I gotta have this, or I gotta meet this at this certain date. And it's like, God got me here without any of my will.
Come on, man. Say that one more time.
God got me here without any of my will.
Yeah, but here I go trying to fix everything in 1 month. In 28 days, I want to get off probation. I want to put my family back together. I want my cholesterol to go down. I want my feet to stop swelling. And I want some new clothes and a car. All in 28 days. But I done burnt everything down for damn near 30 years.
Yeah, and we said that, man, like, if you're not working on yourself, man, you got to understand how God operates, man. Like, when you ask God for something, He sends it. He gives it to you. The only thing about the package that He asked for, that you requested, it has no date on it. So you ask for that blessing, He gonna send it to you. It's en route to you.
En route.
It's just some things that it has to go through, and some things that you have to go through before you actually receive that blessing that you prayed for, that you asked Him for, because He gonna give it to you.
He gonna FedEx that thing. Put the order in with a tracking number. And it's not an overnight process. It's not an overnight process. Sometimes it takes longer for others to get what they're supposed to receive in life. Like, we've been here X amount of months. Somebody might just come in 3-4 months ago and they already have a better paying job than you, or they already have a transportation, or things in their legal situations have been cleared up quicker than yours, and you've been here for X amount of months. It all depends on the person, man, how God deals with people. And we said this the other day on the last podcast. Not only does God give you blessings, but the devil give you things too. So you have to be careful and mindful of what you're receiving, and the motive behind what you're receiving, what you're gonna do with that. So yeah, but I think that the financial situation of coming into sober living and feeling that
that feeling I have to fit in, or I have to do this, or I have to be this type of person. No, man. Like, if you're in a good house, like we in a good house, like people gonna accept you with open arms. People gonna help you without any ulterior motive. You know, and that's when you're around a good bunch of people. I don't have to have $1 million and a whole bunch of things for you to be around me or to be with me. Like, if you can't accept me for the person that I am, because I remember when you walked through those doors and you had nothing. And I was just like that too, you know. So let's just keep it on, you know, on a fair playing field. And like when people come through these doors, and this is for anybody who dealing with somebody new who may come to their structured living home, like, help people, man. Remember that hand that was extended to you, like extend that hand right back.
Yeah, man, that's the way. And another thing we see in the house, man, blessings don't stop with us, man. They flow through us, man, and we gonna keep that going, man. That's where I find a lot of growth and blessings, man. It's just because, you know what, today I'm happy to see somebody else smiling, man, genuinely happy, man.
Most definitely.
You know, and now check this out. What role did therapy, counseling, and spirituality play in your journey?
All right, so one of the most important things that I've learned since being sober and constantly working on myself every day, like me personally, I want to be a public speaker. I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to go to different detention centers and juveniles and jail houses and be a motivational speaker and be a beacon of hope for people and let them know that there is a better way of life. And Albert Einstein said it best: the most significant investment a person can make within themselves is the investment to communicate effectively. And that's the biggest thing for me. Like, I got a problem, and it's not a problem, but a lot of people view it as a problem of explaining a situation thoroughly before going directly to the point. I have to do that because I'm not talking for you to respond. I'm talking for you to listen and learn from what I'm saying. You know, so I go through that stage like that, explaining things thoroughly, only because I want the reader or the listener to grasp what I'm giving.
Okay.
Know? So yeah, and that was one of the biggest things for me, like learning to deal with people, be sociable, talk to people, understand people, try to figure out, like, how can I help you? Utilize me. Like, how can I get you further ahead in life? Like, how can I help your dream come true? Like, I want to be a part of that, because even if you're the person who has the dream and you're the person building everything, just me knowing that I'm attached to it makes me feel good without even me telling you that. For example, this podcast, man, the Shakeback podcast, like, this is Larry's situation. This is his business. But just knowing that I was in the backdrop, in the back, helping him along the way and being part of it, or him even extending that hand to be like, hey, look, Joe, you want to be a part of this with me? Because he wanted me to be a full partnership. And I'm like, you know what? That's your dream. That's what God got for you. He gave you that vision. I don't want to come in and implement something that may not fit your vision. So what can I do? I'm going to be your biggest support. I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. I'm going to be the biggest help that I can be to you, because I'm a part of that success no matter how we cut it.
Yeah, and you definitely, it is hard not to get emotional, because it been some trials and tribulations where I had a lot of doubt in myself, man. And, you know, I'd fall back from it. And just the thing is, you know, I was having, like he was just talking about, financial obligations and situations, you know. I could, because if it was up to me, I would have been started from Christmas, you know, but, you know, it's because somebody who cared for me just explained to me, LB, it's not in your time, it's in God's time. And, you know, just take your time, it's going to come together. And I just kept working hard. And it been time to where, you know, I fell back from it, and he seen I was discontinuing my effort in it. And my brother came through with our first shirts, man. You know, and that, like, you know. And the hats, you know, and that just by that, his consistency with pushing me to be more effort into what I really believed in, what I want to do, got me to get up and get back on it. And it taught me a lot of consistency. And evidently, he sees something that I couldn't see at the time. But now I'm grasping it. And when I was in IOP, shout out Miss Shirley at Palmetto IOP, thank y'all. What she said, LB, you got it already. You just have to believe it so you could achieve it, so you could receive it. If nothing changed, nothing changed. And is everything I done been through, man, from Reedville recovery to IOP, them assignments from my group at Reedville, I still go back in those tablets, man, because I was doing things others wasn't doing. I was writing down notes. I was writing down notes at lecture. I was listening to Joy coming in, and the first thing he came in the AA meeting and said, if I can't change my attitude, I can't change my altitude. Yeah. And that stuck with me, man. So, brother, you're definitely on your way to being a motivational speaker. And just like you walk beside me, I'm going to walk beside you in all your ventures, man. We're going to walk this out, man. Now, give me some of the biggest misconceptions people have about addiction and recovery.
All right, so I believe that a lot of people feel that if it's like this: if you're using a substance every day, not just because you're hurting or because it's the weekend or it's a birthday or a holiday, but if you constantly use it every day, then you're addicted. You are addicted and you need to seek out help, And a lot of people feel like, well, I'm managing my life. I'm paying my bills. I go to work. I take care of my kids. I'm okay. Like, I'm not addicted to anything. But here's the thing about addiction. It eventually will spill over into every area of your life and things will start to get messed up. But addiction is just the constant ongoing process of feeling that you can't stop. You can't stop at all. Like if every day I get up and I'm smoking weed or whatever every day, for the next 10, 15 years, and I haven't stopped, but it hasn't affected my spiritual life, or it hasn't affected my mental life, or my business life, or my work life. It hasn't affected those areas at all. I just haven't quit because I like the feeling of it. Well, you don't use drugs because you like the feeling of it. That's not the main reason that people use drugs, because they like the feeling of it. Some people are using drugs to escape from things. Some people are dealing with mental health issues, those underlying issues and conditions, that we talk about. So it's not just that, I'm taking care of everything that I'm supposed to take care of, so I'm not addicted to anything. I'm the type of person, I have an addictive personality. Anything that I do too long, I get addicted to, whether it's gambling, whether it's lying, whether it's using drugs, whether it's conning, whether it's being narcissistic, anything that I do that I get enjoyment out of, I feel that I'm getting ahead in life out of, I'm addicted to it. So I have to be careful, because the AA is not just for people who deal with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, definitely.
It's also for people who have issues, mental health issues, emotional issues, so I think that's the biggest misconception. And another thing is that people don't want to be viewed as they're an addict. I don't want to go sit in no AA room. I'm ashamed. I'm not that low. I'm not that far. I never messed up. But you tell me a time in your life in the last 10 years where everything has been just going perfectly A-OK, and drugs and alcohol has never messed up your day. Or it hasn't done anything to mess up what you got going on in life. Like, there are situations in your life where drugs and alcohol were the cause of this. Whether you got in a car accident, whether you started arguing with an officer after the club, whether you lashed out at one of your kids or a family member because you didn't have those toxins in your system, so you were agitated and irritated, you were very irate, you were angry, so there's behaviors that factor into using drugs and alcohol. So I think that's a bad stigma.
Yeah, and that's something I had to learn, man, because I've been to a couple of AA meetings, especially in jail, and also in Houston, Texas. Like, I don't even drink liquor. I don't drink beer. I don't drink alcohol. So why should I have to go sit in there and listen to that? But really putting in the effort and learning about myself. I am an alcoholic. I've been an alcoholic since before I put any kind of substances in my body, and that's because of my actions, my impulsive behaviors.
Yeah.
The repetitive, the doing the same things and expecting different results. So that qualified me, or the insanity. That qualified me for being an alcoholic.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I'm thankful today that I could be open-minded,
Right.
And think like that and accept suggestions and feedback from loved ones instead of having that one-track mind. Oh, he hating on me. He just don't like me. He trying to do something I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Just all that selfish thinking, man. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate you, man. Yeah. So what? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, because I was gonna say, and another thing is that people don't value information from people that they feel that are beneath them. Like, let me give you an example. If there's a guy who's been recovered for 15, 20 years, and he doesn't have everything in the world, but he has sobriety and he has a spiritual life intact, and there's another guy who's this street hustler, and he does all these things. If I come along and I'm in the streets, but this guy's trying to give me valuable information on how I can change my life, I'm not going to value the man with 20 years sobriety. These are for the people who aren't in recovery. They'll value somebody else's opinion before they value somebody who truly cares. You know? So I think that, like, and it's a problem for people, you know, that they because I got a lot of people like that I know of, you know, that move like that. They don't value somebody else's opinion more than this person over here because of what they have.
All right.
You know, so
that's understandable too, man. Like, man, that's so understandable. You and I know you touched on this, but I wanna specify and target a few questions. That's why, because you pretty much covered it already, but I'm gonna keep going back to certain things. Like, what kind of advice would you give someone who currently is struggling with addiction and considering seeking help? Like, what would you tell them to push them to, like, yeah, I need help?
For me, what led me to actually seek help is I wanted it. And that's what recovery is about. This is a lifetime commitment. It's not for those who need it. It's for those who want it. Like, I want to live like this for the rest of my life. So I think some people have to hit their rock bottom, as they call it, but your rock bottom might be dead. Luckily for me, mine wasn't. Mine was abandonment, shame, guilt, humiliation. You know, not being able to utilize the resources that I used to have in my life. That was my rock bottom. You know, like, all right, I gotta do better. Like, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed to go anywhere. I was literally moving around like an owl, man. Like, I didn't want to go anywhere. You know, like, I lost weight. I stopped caring about my appearance. I stopped cutting my hair. Stopped eating. I couldn't eat. You know, my thing is just chasing that next high. Like, where can I find these pills?
And you know, and it's crazy because, you know, we always had somewhere to go to really rest our head, but we didn't want to go there. I didn't want to go there, and it's crazy because I had a safe place to go to, but because of my addiction, I want to go hang out with the homeless people in the woods with the tarps. Because guess what? They're doing what I'm doing,
right.
And they ain't gonna judge me, especially if I'm giving them something.
Right.
Yeah, you know, and just that having that mask on, man, and being ashamed, man. I'm all in the woods, mosquitoes, tan me up, but I'm trying to get loaded.
I'm happy to say that because it's so exhausting, bro, to do it.
Oh, if it's exhausting.
Like, doing the wrong thing takes so much
energy, man.
Effort we put into doing the wrong thing is so exhausting when you can just easily do the right thing.
Man, Joe, bro.
Just easily do the right
thing. Thank you for saying that, man, because I reflect on how much foolishness I used to do, and just at all time of night, when you know, especially in Lafayette, after about 10:30, well, after the club closed and you do Waffle House, it ain't nothing but wrong going. If you in them streets, it ain't but nobody but you and them people.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it's crazy that it took us this long to actually open our eyes and see it.
Man.
You know, but I'm happy. I'm grateful for the fact that I have today.
Yeah, bro.
To look back and reflect and be like, God is good, bro. Like, he gave me a second chance at life.
Man.
You know, a real shot at a real life.
Yeah.
You know, once I start viewing it from that perspective, like, man, like, I'm blessed because there's countless people that I know who have died from drug usage, who were here with me in treatment, in sober living, and even I that. You know, so it's just a blessing to have God on your side, guiding your steps, you know. And I think that's another thing too, like, when you touched on it earlier about that spiritual connection, not having that spiritual connection with your higher power. A lot of people don't like to tap in with God, not because they don't feel like it or because they're ashamed of what people gonna do or whatever. They just feel like their life is surrendering on self-will. Yeah,
self-power. I'm doing all this myself.
You're doing all this yourself. Like, you're not even understanding that God is making these moves in your life. Like we said it earlier today. Like, I'm grateful for the fact that I was on God's wake-up list today.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people, man. There's a woman somewhere in the world who was giving birth to a baby girl last night, and she died doing the birthing procedure. And she not an addict or alcoholic. Was he merciful with her? Was that justice? Couldn't he have granted her grace? And here I am, being afforded another opportunity to wake up today, knowing that I did wrong yesterday, and I woke up today. Man, like, when you start viewing things for what it really is in the world, bro, like, you know, it's...
And you know what played on me where I really started spiraling, Joe? See, when I went to Atlanta and I come back and visit and I got this and that and showing off. See, when I lost that, boy, that's Big Larry, that's LB. And it seemed like I was just regular, but it took me to the deep dark place, bro. I just kept going down and down, bro. I didn't have that validation from my partners in the street, my cousins in the street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, we said it the other day, man. When you left with just you, what are you going to do? You know, if they strip everything away from you and you left with just you,
who are you?
And at you in the mirror, like, who are you? What impact are you making in life? Who are you helping? Like, we are all God's children. Like, who are you assisting in the world? Yeah, and I said this last time, man, like, my debt, I can't rectify all this damage, but how I repay my debt is to do service work. It's to help others. That's the rent I pay for the space I take up on earth. I have to help other people.
And I just want to shout out, we on Twitch going live right now to that one viewer. You know, we got one viewer, but you know what? I'm thankful for you. Shout out to that one viewer. You know, that we trying to build it, you know what I'm saying? We just trying to put a message out there from God, man, and let people know who was stuck in our situation that it is help. Yeah. It is help. We working on getting a phone so we could get called in, live calls. And if you're struggling, man, give us a holler, man. This is what we promoting today. This is the new cool, man. Yeah. This is the new cool, man. So what are your hopes and goals for the future, man? Because you're a big part of this structured community, right. At the treatment centers. You are definitely a vibe in everybody's life you encounter. Mm-hmm. So what I know you want to be a motivational speaker. Yeah, man, I'm gonna give props where props do, especially knowing where we came from. Right. And to see this new person, it helped me to keep going, bro. Because being a good guy is cool. It's actually cool.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, All right, so, and you never know what God got for you until He lets you know what He got.
Can't even fathom it, baby.
Can't even fathom it. So it's like everybody that I've encountered, that I've had talks with, groups of people, one-on-one, however the case may be, everybody that I talk to tell me that I'm an eloquent speaker. And you know, I'm like, yeah, you know, I be crafting my skill or whatever. And on first, I was doing it for some attention because I do like to talk, but I was doing it for the attention, and I'm seeing that I'm helping people when
just
I do
letting the viewers know the fire marshal just pulled up because my boy on fire. He burning the roof off of you.
Yeah, man, most definitely. So I was doing it for attention, man, and then after that, I started to see like people started coming up to me and be like, "Man, you really touched me with that what you said, and like let me write that down and this and that." And I'm like, "Dang, all right." You know, when it happened one time, all right, it could be a fluke or whatever. I feel good about him doing it or whatever. Then it happened again and again and again and again, and then it happens every day. So when you're walking in your gift, you know, and it's like, damn, my greatest asset is me. Yeah, I know that. And my greatest liability is also me. But this is the gift that God gave me. Like if you want to discover your gift, is the thing you do best in life for the least amount of effort. And this is what I do best in life, like talking to people, motivating people, encouraging, inspiring, you know, people to do better, you know, because I get something out of that. The feeling that I get from it is priceless, you know. So I think that this walk that I'm on right now and where I'm headed at, I really can't say where I'll be in 6 months or a year, but I know I'm on the right track, you know, because it only been getting better and better by the day, you know, and I'm happy to surround myself around like-minded people, you know, like we said last time, man, like if you're not in recovery, Joey don't deal with you. Like I talk to people just in recovery. Of course, I got my old friends and family that I deal with, but I'm talking about as far as meeting new people in this world. If you're not in recovery or on the right track in life, like I'm not dealing with you. I'm not trying to fall in that circle because God not allowing me to even be in that, you know. So it's like, yeah, bro. But I'm definitely.
Is it anything you wish you had known early in your recovery journey? Because you know, like me, when I came into structured living, it was people to guide me and show me how to do this.
Right.
And it was the little stuff. And you know, I had to learn how to accept love,
right,
and understand where love comes from. Love is not just pacifying me or just letting me know what I want to hear and telling me, oh, it's all right, you're going to do better next time. Nah, get it right now. Ain't no working on it. I'm either do it or not. And you, man, you was there, man. I'm so thankful for you, man. I'm just glad I'm spiritually fit to hear that message God sent through different people, man.
Yeah.
And, but is it anything you wish, because you came here basically alone, like you started, like you paved the way for me to come,
right?
You know, and you was there when I got here, you know. Grab my hand. I got you, little big brother.
Yeah,
I got you.
Most definitely. Like I tell him this all the time, bro. He don't know how fortunate he is. I think he do know how fortunate he is, but like where he's at in his recovery and the time that he had sober. And congratulations, you just made a year.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
Where he at in his recovery when I had a year, I wasn't there. I didn't have any goals set. I didn't have any things in motion. To be honest with you, where he was at in 6 months, I wasn't there. You know? Yeah.
Message.
I wouldn't have, but I stuck with the program. At the time, all I had was my sobriety.
Consistency.
All I had was my sobriety, man. And I kept at it. You know what gave me hope, though? What really gave me hope was when God started working not only in my life, but in the people's lives around me.
Come on, Joe. Like, we had to see the program work. Yeah. That's a visual blessing.
Yeah, man, when I started reaching out to people after months of not talking to them, and I could hear it in their voices that they so happy and they proud of, like this is the man that they always knew, this is the person that I'm supposed to be, like this is the real him. It brought tears to my eyes. It made me feel so good because it's like all I ever wanted was to accomplish what I set out to do. I just want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to win around me, you know, because when you winning, and let's say I got an off day shit and we still winning. you know, and I just wanted everybody to be happy. And when people started reaching out to me and started telling me how good of a job I'm doing and they love what I'm doing and keep up the good work, man, I never heard good job or great work since I was in 5th grade on one of the papers. You know, when the teacher would write that.
With a sticker.
With a sticker.
Good job, Joe.
So for somebody to tell me that people who are burned bridges down, for them to come back and tell me that, man, it gave me so much hope, so much motivation, bro.
Yeah, and you know that's one thing I find enjoyment in too, man. Like people tell me, LB, man, you doing a good job, man. It's a pleasure. Like our ball spiritual Stu. Shout out spiritual Stu, baby. Every time he see me, he come to Fox's and he like, LB, is always a pleasure. But every time he see me now, I'm smiling, I'm helping somebody, customers hollering at me. Like I'm a good person. Like people come in that place, Joy, and look all in the back if I'm not in the front. Where you at? And when they see me, when I come around the corner and they see me, I was just asking about you. They start smiling. You know, they come in, they really come in to see me while they eating. And they know I'm gonna bring some kind of laughter. You know, and it's crazy because, well, it's God's work because just the situations, man, just the whole, like, I don't have nothing to be mad about.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing to be mad about. And just to reflect on all them days where I was just disappointed in situations and things I was doing to myself, but had the nerve to get mad at my family, my spouse, you know, the employer, the policeman, you know, the mailman, the dog. You know, I'm mad at everybody. For what? For stuff I'm doing. And I'm glad I could hold myself accountable. And just doing right, man. And
some of the things in sober living that we do today and the actions that other people do today, back then, and this is a question for me and you, we would have reacted totally different.
Oh, come on, man.
To those situations.
Come on, man.
But today, I get to reflect. I get to look back and be like, you know what? I understand. I can relate. That's a big thing they teach us in recovery and in these centers. And they tell you if you can't do nothing, you can relate. Because a lot of people come to sober living. A lot of people go through treatment facilities, and some are fortunate than others, and they feel that they have nothing in common. Well, I'm here to tell you. When you get in small group, you can relate.
Okay.
You can relate.
Okay.
You know that there's some symptom, there's some type of behavior, there's something that we have in common.
It's a match.
It's a I didn't come in here on no winning streak.
Come on.
Sitting down in group with you and I got everything together.
Yeah.
And you over there and you done lost everything and burnt down every bridge in your life, and here I am. What? No, you know, I'm just here because trying to get my wife off my back. That's that I'm here. Nah, we can relate.
Yeah. That's just, you know, but that goes back to me getting honest with myself.
A lot of people are like, a lot of people don't like to get honest. A lot of people don't like to get honest.
I had to. That's the only way I was going to stop getting sick, because as long as I'm lying to myself, I'm going to think I could go snort a pill or do. I was an opiate user. But I'm going to think I could go do me a line of heroin and be all right. I could control it. But by the time I try to control it, guess what? It's out of control, baby.
That was one of the things we tried to do in our addiction, man, is try to manage the unmanageable. That's crazy. How can you have controlled chaos? How can you have controlled chaos?
Bars.
Like, everything around me is going wrong, but I'm fine. Everything around me is going wrong.
Boy,
but
the madness.
Man, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Yeah, I like that, boy. Controlled chaos.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Ooh, everything just on flame, everything on fire.
How you doing today, Joe?
You taking care of yourself? Yep. Come on, man. Oh, man, thank you for that one, man. Controlled chaos, man. And you know what? There's something I hear in these structured living houses where a person might say they bored. And you know, I heard this, I heard an old timer, and when I refer to old timer, I'm talking about somebody with multiple sobriety years. he said, saying you're bored is unappreciated peace. And if you was really living in that chaos, you don't have time to be bored. You glad it's quiet. You glad stuff not moving 100 miles per hour. I'm glad I'm not moving 100 miles per hour. I know it might look like I'm a big ball and it look like I can't move 100 miles per hour, but guess what? I forgot birds was existing at one point in time. It took me to go to treatment at river and sit back there in the Zen garden, and a red bird landed on the fence. I'm like, that must be a new species. But that's how fast I was moving, man. I was missing all the messages. God beautied the weather. And I know I complain about this Louisiana heat, but guess what? I love it. I wouldn't want to be nowhere else, bro. And in the South, man.
And I'm happy you said that about people saying that they bored. They have nothing to do. Or there's nothing going on. See, that's the problem. You're not working on yourself, because there are numerous things that you can do when there's nothing going on. So you find peace and solace, working on yourself, read some literature, open up some type of business, do something online. We hold our phones 90% of the day in our hand flicking on it. Find something that's productive, something that's constructive, that can build you into a better future. There's things that you can do to alter that. Oh, I'm bored. You're bored, go to a meeting, open up a meeting. But there are things that you can do if you're saying that you're bored. Like I can't see myself, getting to that stage of where like, oh, it's bored. How many times you heard me say that?
Oh, I never heard you say that, boy. You know what? I wrote a quote, and they hung it up at work, man. And they said, if I'm not trying to succeed, I would never fail. If I would never fail, I would never learn how to be content. If I don't learn how to be content, I would never know my true power and strength. And it's still hanging up. It's going on a month and a half, man. And a couple of my coworkers was telling me, LB, just by reading that, just help me get through these rough times I'm having, not only in here, but outside, man. And I was telling you about the lion cub dream I kept having. And every time I would try to leave the pack, the male lion would just grab me by my head and bring me back. So I was talking about it at work, and one of my coworkers looked it up, and it was saying, your time gonna come. Learn everything you can about the territory you gonna inherit. And that's a healthy dream for me. That's motivation, because I want to get out there and do everything, but I need to learn and sharpen my craft. For land, God gonna give it to me. I ain't gotta go get it.
Right. Yeah.
I ain't gotta go get it. So, what kind of message of hope you want to share with the listeners and who just trying to find their way? I know you talked about finding your purpose, and that's a freedom that this program have to offer. Yeah. But and I want to ask you what kind of message of hope you want to share with them. Then I want to ask you how you handle triggers.
All right,
yeah.
So some hope that I can give to somebody who's struggling out there, specifically if you're old. All right, so back then, Colonel Sanders opened up KFC, and he couldn't get the franchise booming the way that he wanted.
Shout out Colonel Sanders, KFC Original Crispy.
Colonel Sanders been trying for decades to try to get that chicken recipe patent, to go global with it, and he couldn't. At the age of 64 is when KFC finally was able to walk into the door, the big door, to where they, in every state,
original recipe, kick the door in.
At age 64, he was able to franchise KFC. Now, us being from the South, a lot of us would think, well, KFC not the biggest chicken place, it's Popeyes. No, it's not. Maybe down south, but there's not a Popeyes in every state. A lot of people don't know that. There's a Louisiana kitchen, mostly southern.
Check him out. Somebody did research.
Yeah, but there's not a Popeyes in every state. There's a KFC in every state and in 2 countries, 2 European countries. KFC is in every state and 2 European countries. And I'm saying that to say this. It's never too late. If you're 40 years old, 50 years old, he did it when he was 64. Now KFC is the number 1 one selling chicken place in the United States at the age of 64.
Loaded chicken bowl, baby. Shout out.
Here's a little fun fact for you.
Okay.
Picture
Come
that
on
you
with it.
see of Colonel Sanders
Okay.
at KFC.
Okay.
That old white man with the beard, that's him at 64 years old.
Yo.
Took the picture. And that was just sharing some hope for people. Even back then, they had great thinkers like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he could have put a younger picture of himself up there, but he put an older picture of himself up there on every restaurant to let that be a beacon of hope, to be like, it's possible.
The messages go. You got to be able to see.
Gotta be able to see.
Shout out Tyler, man. You know we got somebody in our audience, man. I appreciate the support, baby. My boy Tyler, man.
Mr. Logistics.
You heard? Mr. Logistics, man. We out here, man. South Louisiana, up in Reeville, baby.
Yeah.
And I just want to shout out to that one viewer on Twitch. Man, I appreciate you sticking with us. You heard? It's gonna get better. Just be part of the movement, man. So Joe, let me so how you handle them triggers, man, and potential relapse situations. And we all know before you put any kind of we all don't know. So I know before I put anything in my system, I'm a relapse mentally, and especially with my actions.
Most definitely. You have to be aware of the traps, man. And let me just give you a little backstory of what's been going on with me for the last week and a half.
Oh,
I've been going through some things emotionally.
allegedly.
I've been going through some things emotionally to where I was getting torn between myself. And I think that, and I'm happy that LB brought me to church today.
I did what?
Brought me to church today.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy.
How many times I've been asking you?
A few times.
Okay, but sometimes it takes us to go through that thunderstorm and that tornado with no kind of umbrella or shelter for us to just, God, I need you, help me.
Yeah. Some people ask for you to give them the truth and be honest with them in life. And after living a lie for so long, when you're honest with people, some people can't take that honesty. Some people go directly into either retaliatory mode or get even. And that's a consequence of not my addiction. Because they like to say 5 consequences of your addiction, this was a consequence of my actions. It's a consequence of my actions. And
accountability.
Yeah, most definitely. And I ain't had nowhere to physically lean on. I was telling LB, like, I'm praying to God 2 times a day, 3 times a day. It's like it's still not working. Like I need to get my mojo back.
Yeah,
it's crazy because I am mojo.
Yeah.
I need to get my mojo back.
Man. Like my boy been going through it,
going through it, man, and it's like, dang. But I didn't use, and I make light of it all the time. And I'll tell him, walk in the house and be like, yeah, all right, man. I'm like, no, but I ain't used. All I got going for me is
my sobriety.
And that should be enough.
Yeah, that sobriety is the gift that keeps giving. That's a gift you keep giving yourself.
Even though everything else around me may fall apart today, I'm able to handle those situations and not be reactive, but be proactive. I'm able to view things and put myself in people's shoes and then learn from it and move on.
Change my perception of things.
Yeah, man, because if I don't, I'm going to be in trouble. So how I handle triggers today is the work that I put in over the last 2 years. That's how I handle triggers, like all the work, because I needed it. This last week and a half, I needed all the tools in my toolbox.
Bro.
I'm talking about I was at the bottom looking for screws and I needed everything.
Trying to pull out a car motor with a crescent wrench.
I'm trying to tell you, like, I needed every tool in my toolbox over the last week. I needed everyone, but I did not use.
Yep.
I voiced my opinion to people. It was a lot of times, man, you catch yourself fake smiling or trying to be cheerful or silently crying, and I have to be able to reflect and be like, all right, bro, like, you stronger than this. Like, you gonna pull through this. Like, God gonna pull you through this. Like, you gonna be all right. Just keep going. And I had LB, I got Tyler, I got Kev, I got Mike, I got Mr. Mr. Glenn. You know, I got people that I'm able to lean on today.
Shout out that support system. But you know what you did too? You didn't just wait for life to show up. Then you started finding them tools. You had all your tools in the toolbox ready for when life showed up.
Ready, because
that's a big factor.
Because when those situations hit, the first thing they tell you to do is contact your sponsor, pray about it, get with people in the program, talk about it, go to a meeting, go to church, but don't soak in it. And I'm telling you, I use those tools. I called my sponsor. I talked to my sponsor. I talked to the people in the program. LB took me to church. Like, it's some things that you got to do, man. Like, you can't sit stuck in that funk, bro. Like, and soaking in self-pity. Like, man, you know, like, it could have been better for Joe. No, Joe caused this on himself. I created those situations. Now I got to suffer those consequences. How I come out of it, though, what I do, I got to keep moving forward. So how you deal with triggers today, I think it all depends on the person and what they have in their toolbox. You ain't been putting nothing in your toolbox and mad day come and you ain't got nothing in there but a banana, it's over with.
Guess what? The banana in the tailpipe.
It's over with.
You got to prepare for it, baby. Guess what? And what else we see? I stay ready, so I ain't got to get ready, baby. Yeah, that's how we come in to see, man. It's been a good, strong interview. Hold on, before we go. Speaking of, you talked to me. Yeah, I did invite you to church. You talked to Tyler, but how important is the fellowship and the community of recovery? And not only recovery, but incorporating the church. Because when you walked in church this morning, by the time you walked out, you had a glow about you. Like, you could tell. And it seemed like Pastor was talking straight to me and you.
Yeah.
Because we was both dealing with something. We got confirmation today.
Front level.
Yeah, front row. And he was looking dead at us.
Yeah.
You know, but he was saying too that he appreciate people in our situation inviting other people.
He was talking to you when he said that. He seen me sitting next to you and I caught you. Shout out to the pastor.
Yeah, Pastor Sledge, baby.
Yeah, he was talking to you because I was a new face. I was a newcomer and sitting on the front row. And he looked at me sitting next to you and he was like, I'd like to thank the people who come here all the time for bringing the new faces. You all family too. And it made me feel good because as an addict, you just want to be a part of something.
I'm trying to tell you, it didn't make you feel. You see, they was in there laughing. He get to and see how you remind me so much of him because you build your message up to your punchline.
Yeah.
And when that punchline comes, is TKO.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? TKO, baby. Yeah. So, yeah. But all right, go ahead and explain the fellowship, man.
Yeah, in this community, in any sober living community, even down the outside world, when you're dealing with your personal family, it's important that transparency and communication is key. Like, you have to be willing to say the things that you feel may deter that person away from you. Don't care about being liked, because at the end of the day, it's not about who's right, it's what's right. And I think in this community, in our sober living community, in our structured community, it's important that we socialize with each other. Because if I didn't have guys in my house who were sociable like they are, to actually spot something when it's going on with me, because they see it before I see it. It's written on my face, my body language, my posture, how I move, how I talk, how long I interact with somebody before I pull off again. People see that, they notice that, and when you got a good group of guys who care, who be like, hey man, you all right, man? You sure, man? Get up, man. Stop watching TV, man. Come out the room. Come, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you got people like that who willing to pull you, man, keep those people close to you. Don't let those people go nowhere, man. Keep those type of people in your circle. You want people who will help you build, not people who will tear you down. Because a lot of people, and there are some people who will look at your situation and be like, well, I ain't got to worry about that. He going through that. I ain't got to deal with that, all this and that. When you got people who place themselves in your shoes and be like, you know what? I can learn from that situation, but as I'm learning, let me pull my brother and help him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's
man.
what's important. So that's the type of people that you want to keep around you. You know, so I think it's very important for us to be sociable in this community, to interact with each other, to do things with each other, to be transparent and be open and be vulnerable with each other. That way we can help each other. That way we don't, when we get in situations like this, we're not in a rut or stuck or feeling like I'm alone. You're not alone. You know, there are people out there that care. And I'm just happy that I was able to surround myself around people like that who care.
That's good, man. It's been an awesome interview, man. My co-host, man, we got some good energy, man. And the Shakeback podcast will be traveling. Ain't no telling which city we gonna be in, and we pulling up on you, man. Ain't no gram like the program, man. This is the end of episode 3, and big brother, I love you. Thank you. God gonna keep blessing us because we helping a lot of people with this, man. And just to put that out there, this podcast didn't start to get rich. I just want to put the message out because I know for so long I was stuck in a deep hole and I didn't know how to reach out for help. I was ashamed because I was raised that men don't need help. Well, guess what? If I'm not keeping God first, man, I'm gonna need all the help I could get, man.
And I'm happy he said that about the message because he living proof of it. Sometimes it takes more than just giving the message, but being the message. And that's what this is. This is being the message. You can actually physically see it. Not just us talking, but like in the communities, you can see us working with people and helping others. And this podcast, even though it didn't start off from wanting to make money, like this is priceless right here. The information that we giving to the people and addicts like ourselves, like you ain't gonna get that nowhere else. So
yeah, man, definitely, man. And like I see, it's all about the message, man. And it's the love I have for God's children, man, my brothers and my sisters, man. And if you tune into the last podcast, my mugshot was put up on the podcast, and just to look at that picture to now, I see the light, man. Because I look at that picture, Joe, and it was all just everything about that picture just seemed like demonic. Like I was just beat up and evil and just looking to scheme and plus orange not my color no way.
Right.
You know, so but with that said and done, man, thank God for another blessed episode. Shout out one more time to my boy Tyler. That's another feature we got coming. Another young man in recovery who got a hell of a testimony and story. Just stay tuned, be part of the movement, man. Like I said, man, we're gonna be pulling up in every city, man. You might see us in France. You don't never know. The Shakeback podcast, episode 3. I love you, brother. Until next time, bro.
Oh yeah.